Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to your writing video today. Let's go over our target. Our target is a new one starting today on Monday. Today, you're going to identify parts of a friendly letter. We're going to write a letter today, boys and girls. In your success criteria, today you will write a beginning of a friendly letter, complete with a date, a greeting, and a question. And tomorrow we will finish up our friendly letter and try to put the middle and the ending on it. All right, so in starting with our letter today, I have some questions that we learned when we were in person at school, boys and girls. And if you can remember, our questions start with W: who, what, when, where, why, and usually in the middle there is the word how. But we also learned there's more than just who, what, when, where, why, and how. We can also start a question with are, will, can, which, may, do, does, is, could, and would. And there are even more words that you can start a question with. So keep those in mind as we begin our friendly letter today. Here are some first grade lines. So after this video, boys and girls, try to find some first grade line paper in your online packet that I sent home with you. I'm going to make mine a little bit bigger here by pinching it, and hopefully you'll be able to see it a little bit better now that I've made it bigger. Okay, so to begin our friendly letter, we have to figure out who we're going to write to. You can write to grandma and grandpas, you can write to aunts and uncles, you can even write to your friends. But for the sake of the holiday season, we're going to write a letter to Santa. And if you've already written a letter to Santa, that's quite all right. This would just be really good practice. We don't even have to send this if we don't want to. But this is a good practice for a formal friendly letter. So when you're writing a friendly letter, boys and girls, you first start out with the date. And the date usually goes over just a little bit. Make sure that my pen is on here. I thought I would write in red today just because it is Christmas. So I'm going to write today's date. It's a little bit hard to write on this. Let's see if I can make it a little bit smaller. December. And I apologize if it's not just right because I'm writing on my screen. So today's date is December 14th. It's a teenage number, and the teenager goes in front. And when we're writing a date, the comma goes after the number of the date or the number of the date. Let's see. December 14th is the day, and then 2020 is your year. Okay, I'm just about out of room. So usually you just indent that, it goes over a little bit. So we always start a friendly letter with the date. The next component or part of a letter is the greeting. That's when you say hello to somebody. So in this friendly letter, we're going to write dear. And that means that you hold this person dear and you think a lot of them. So when I write Dear Santa, I put an uppercase D for dear, and then a space. And then when I write Santa, it's his name. Santa's his name, so S is uppercase. So I get Santa. Dear Santa. And this is all we're going to put on this line so that we honor and show respect for the person we're writing for. Dear Santa is the only thing that goes on that line. We don't keep writing and fill the line like I've taught you on so many other occasions and assignments. Just the dear and the person's name you're writing to. And then we sweep down to the next line. And in this case today, boys and girls, I would like you to write a question to Santa. Usually when you're writing a friendly letter, you ask how the person is, or how are they on their trip, or how is the weather. But for Santa, you can think of a lot of questions I bet you have for him. Like, how does he make it around the world all in one evening? That would be a very good question to ask. Or what is Rudolph's favorite food? Or what is Santa's favorite cookie? There are many, many questions you could ask Santa. You could ask him about his workshop and his elves, or how many toys he makes, or what he does after Christmas Eve. My question today is going to be about Mrs. Claus. And I'm going to start my question with what? So, what sounds like a W and a U, but we've learned that what is very tricky and it sounds out to be wat. What? What does, and I'm going to put a space between what and does, what does Mrs. Claus? So, Mrs. is an abbreviation. It looks like MERS, but this is a short way of saying Mrs. And we put a dot here to show that we shortened the word. That doesn't mean it's a period to stop the sentence, it just means we shortened a word. What does Mrs. Claus, because Santa's last name is Claus, what does Mrs. Claus, I'm not sure if there's an E on that, but we're not going to put one today. I think I'll actually erase that so it doesn't look like a period. What does Mrs. Claus want? And want is not a O, even though it sounds like one. Wanta, nta. It has a blend at the end. What does Mrs. Claus want for Christmas? So I put my spaces in, and I'm going to uppercase Christmas because it's a special holiday. And when it's a special day or a special holiday, we uppercase those letters. And you might remember that at the end of a question, we put a question mark to let the reader know that we're finished with our question and that indeed we're asking something. Dear Santa, what does Mrs. Claus want for Christmas? So sometimes we write more than one question. It's okay to write 2 or 3 questions, but for sake of time today, we're going to move on. So far, boys and girls, our parts of our friendly letter are the date, December 14th, and we put the comma after the number date. And then we started with the greeting. The greeting is Dear Santa. That's kind of like saying hello, Santa. Dear Santa, and the next part of our letter is a question. What does Mrs. Claus want for Christmas? So now I'm going to introduce myself to Santa, and I'm going to write my, and it's not an I, we learned that it's a Y, my name. So we're going to tell Santa who we are. My name is. And I will just kind of pretend that I'm a first grader. So I'm going to write the name JoJo. I use that a lot in first grade. My name is JoJo, and I'm going to put a period there. And I don't need that dot above it, so we'll erase that. My name is JoJo. And I'm going to tell Santa how old I am so that he knows about what age age, place, or gap where to send my gifts and what kind of toys I might like for the age I'm at. My name is JoJo. I am, and let's say that I am 6 because you guys are either 6 or 7 this year. I am 6 years, and that's an S because you're more than 1 year old. That's more than one. I am 6 years old. Now, of course, I am not going to send this to Santa because JoJo is not a real person. But this is how it would look if you're writing a letter, a friendly letter. So we have the date, we have the greeting, we have our question, and now we're introducing ourselves. My name is JoJo. I am 6 years old. Now I'm going to tell Santa I have been very good this year. I have was on our word wall. It's got a magic E on it, but we don't say have. I have been. I have been. It looks like bean, but that's a rule breaker. I have been very, The Y is making the E sound. I have been very good. I hope you've all been good this year to your family, to your moms, to your dads, to your brothers and sisters. I have been very good this year. This has your TH. You stick out your tongue. Is. This. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a Y. Now W. Yeah, ear. The A is helping it say ear. Okay, period. All right, boys and girls, this is the beginning of our friendly letter today. And the parts are the date is up at the top, the greeting is Dear Santa. Then I would like you to add a question for Santa. It does not have to be my question. I would rather you come up with your own question for Santa. My question was, what does Mrs. Claus want for Christmas? Then I would like you to introduce yourself by telling Santa your name. My name is Jojo. Period. I am blank years old. I have been very good this year. Tomorrow, we're going to add the middle of our friendly letter, and maybe we'll even get time to add the ending to our friendly letter. So, our target today, boys and girls, was to start and begin a friendly letter to Santa. Now, please go through your online packet, find some first grade lines like these, and start your letter to Santa. It's just practice. Okay, thank you, boys and girls.